especially inmates, do not get to suffer from the shortcomings of the judiciary. Raquel Muigai, KTN News.
Now, the struggle for Kenya's liberation is one that was marked with sacrifices, tears, and pain. It is important for that journey to be documented for the sake of the younger generation who need to understand their history. The story of the struggle is told in pictures at Nyeri's 93-year-old Maumau Museum, located in Ruring'u. Carol Nyeri tells us that story.
Preservation of culture is an important aspect in upholding tradition and a people's way of life. The Nyeri Museum, located in Ruring'u, is an embodiment of this preservation. Though bereft of artifacts that would ordinarily characterize a standard museum, as one would hope to see much more here, it makes up for it by having an impressive display of mounted pictures that takes visitors down the memory lane that has defined Kenya's past. The array of pictures denotes Kenya's dark colonial era, where natives had no or little say in the management of their own country and were often captured and locked up in concentration camps. There is also a display of pictures of Maumau war veterans who sacrificed a lot to free Kenya from the yoke of colonialism. The pictures go on to feature Kenya post-independence and the struggles and milestones attained, such as self-rule with the different regimes in place, to the near-past events such as the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. This building is 93 years old, almost a century old. The curator, Anthony Maina, says it was constructed in 1924 by the British colonial government.
This building was built in the year 1924. It's over 90 years old now. And it started as a local native court as well as the local native council, which was established in the year 1925, the local native council.
Between 1924 and 1952, it was used as a native court where civil cases would be tried by native court judges. Civil cases such as those involving death and pregnancies were tried here. However, after the state of emergency was declared in 1952, it was upgraded to handle cases involving captured Maumau suspects, such as those found partaking in oaths. If found guilty of being Maumau fighters, they would be convicted here.
When Kenya became a British colony, the British saw it very primitive, whatever the judicial system was being administered to the natives. And so they wanted to bring their judicial system to this colony. And so that's why they built this court. As well as they also established the local native council, and all the area chiefs, the prominent chiefs in Nyeri, like Wambuga Madangani, Chief Nderi, Chief Mohoya, among others, used to meet here for their administrative purposes under the watchful eye of a colonial district commissioner.
Also, the local native council used to meet here up to 1961 when the Nyeri County Assembly was constructed and the meetings moved there. The Maumau Veterans Association has a small office within the premises and the veterans often meet here, some to while their time away during the sunset years. Maina amuses us by telling us that some of the veterans mistake him for a government agent and often demand compensation and answers from him when they find him at the museum. The land adjacent to the museum is also where late President Jomo Kenyatta met up with Maumau fighters. It is on this site here in Ruring'u where the founding father, the late President Jomo Kenyatta, met Maumau fighters in 1952, where he urged them to stay strong and fight on. What is specifically asked of them? This is what he said. In translation, he asked, "If I hold the horns of the beast, will you persevere the kicks?" Meaning that if you let me handle the leadership part of it, will you stay in the forest and help me kick out the colonialists? And they answered in the affirmative. Therefore, this is quite a significant spot in Kenya's history of liberating the country from the yoke of colonialism. The Ruring'u Stadium is where the same fighters surrendered their guns to the then Prime Minister Jomo Kenyatta.